Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about interference phenomena, interference due to thin parallel film in reflected light. So already yesterday we have discussed introductory part about this interference. So today I will just revise the things whatever we have studied, discussed in yesterday's lecture, and then we will continue with this interference due to thin parallel film in reflected light. So yesterday two things we have discussed which are very important. First thing, if we want to produce sustained or steady interference pattern, then two conditions are required. First important thing is amplitude of the waves which are interfering with each other, that must be equal, and second thing is sources must be coherent. Okay, amplitude must be equal and sources must be coherent. So if these two things are satisfied, coherent means what? The source or the waves which are interfering with each other, they must be derived from single source. So two types of interference yesterday we have discussed. One is division of wavefront and second is division of amplitude. So here in this article, in this case, interference we are studying with the concept of division of amplitude. Amplitude get divided means the sources or the waves we are getting, they are derived from same source because just amplitude is divided. Then two more things are very important while studying the concept of interference due to thin parallel film in reflected light. First is whenever light is reflected from denser medium, it causes phase change of 180 degree, that corresponds to path change of lambda by 2. Right? So this part also yesterday we have discussed. So whenever we are dealing with reflected light concept, and if the medium is denser, then incident ray and reflected ray have extra path of lambda by 2 or extra phase difference of 180 degree. Now we will consider here the simplest example, that is of thin parallel film. So let us assume we are having a thin parallel film. Parallel film means what? Thickness of the film remains constant throughout the length, throughout the distance. So we are assuming thickness of the film is constant, means film is parallel, and let us consider this film have thickness equals to T. As the film is thin film, so thin film also we have discussed yesterday that the film whose dimensions are in microns, or if size of the film is comparable with the wavelength we are using to study interference pattern, then in that case the film is called as thin film. If we are considering a glass plate with 3 mm thickness, then that will not be a thin film, that is called as thick film. So dimension must be, or thickness of the film must be in few microns, or it must be comparable with wavelength of light which we are using to produce interference pattern. So we will assume thickness is such that gives you thin film. So film is transparent, and let us assume mu is refractive index of this thin film. So when monochromatic light will be incident on this thin parallel film, then interference we are getting due to reflected light as well as transmitted light. Both are responsible to produce interference phenomena. Let us consider now only reflected case. So I will show only reflected rays here in this diagram. So if we incident a ray which is emitted by monochromatic light, so we assume this as monochromatic light, and mostly nowadays the light which is used to produce or to study interference pattern is laser light, because laser is highly monochromatic, highly directional, highly coherent. Okay. So if we are assuming laser light is incident which is monochromatic, then it causes reflection of light as well as refraction of light. So part of incident light or a part of amplitude of incident light get reflected back, and that proportion is 4%, and 96% of incident intensity get refracted into next media. So if this AB is the incident ray, then this BX and BC, BX is reflected ray and BC is refracted ray. Now again, when the ray reaches at point C, then again 4% of coming intensity get reflected back. So this CD is the reflected ray, and part of light means 96% of coming intensity get refracted. Okay, so that I will not draw here because we have to study only reflected case. Again from point D, 96% of light get refracted into air medium. So this dy is the refracted ray. Okay, so when AB is incident, we are getting two reflected rays from this film, that is Bx and dy. They are similar in nature. Okay, so interference of these two causes alternate bright and dark bands. So now in this article, interference due to thin parallel film in reflected light, we need to find out conditions for constructive and destructive interference or condition for bright and dark point. So for that, first we need to measure path difference for the rays which are interfering with each other. So we need to find out path difference for Bx and dy. So let us try to find out that path difference. So I will assume path difference is delta x. So simple definition of path difference is extra path traveled by one ray with respect to another. So here for these two rays, extra path is BC plus CD. So this path has traveled by dy with respect to Bx. Okay. Now to find out the exact value of path difference, I will draw a perpendicular here from point D to Bx. So this I have drawn perpendicular dm. So you can see now from this geometry or diagram, from this perpendicular onwards, this Bx and dy, they are covering equal distance. So this path is extra path for Bx with respect to dy. So from this diagram now you can get clear picture that path difference is BC plus CD minus Bm. And this path is traveled in thin film whose refractive index is mu, and this path is traveled in air medium whose refractive index is approximately 1. So we have to consider this refractive index part also. So we will be getting now path difference equals to refractive index mu into BC plus CD minus path in air, that is Bm. Let us consider this as equation 1. So now we need to find out BC, CD and Bm values. So here I will do one more construction. I will draw a perpendicular from point B to this CD. So let us say this Bn is perpendicular drawn on CD. So this angle, that is angle between incident ray and normal, we are saying that angle of incidence, according to laws of reflection, angle of incidence and angle of reflection is same. So this remaining angle here is 90 minus I. So this is 90, this is 90 minus I, means remaining angle is angle of incidence I. In the same way, this is angle of refraction R. So this also comes angle of refraction R. Now I will consider these two right angle triangles BMD and BND. I will apply Snell's law to those two triangles and let us try to find out value of Bm. So from triangle BMD and triangle BND, if we are applying Snell's law, sin I by sin R equals to mu. So from BMD, sin I is opposite, that is Bm, divided by hypotenuse, that is BD. So this can be written as Bm divided by BD. And in BND, sin R is opposite side, that is Dn divided by BD. This equals to refractive index mu. This BD is common here, so this get cancels and we will be getting Bm as mu into dn. So now this Bm we are having in part difference relation. So I will substitute the value of Bm in part difference relation. So this delta x part difference now can be written as, mu is common now for all the terms. So mu in bracket Bc plus Cd minus dn. Now to solve this again, I will make some construction here in this diagram. I will increase length of this normal in downward direction. I will increase length of this DC in backward direction so that it intersect to this normal. Okay. I will increase length of this DC in backward direction so that it intersect to the normal. And now you can see we are getting an isosceles triangle. Let us say this point is C and this is E. This BCE is an isosceles triangle in which this BC and CE are equal and these two angles are also equal. So if this angle is angle of refraction, then this is also R. Okay. So here now in this part difference relation we are having BC. This equals to C from this isosceles triangle. So instead of BC, we will get C. So delta x now can be written as mu in bracket BC can be written as EC plus CD minus dn. Now what will be the value of EC plus CD minus dn? This is a straight line. This DE is a straight line. So we are considering here EC plus CD minus dn. So what will remain here? En, right? So for this I can write En in this relation. So delta x part difference will be mu into En. So only one term is unknown here to know part difference. So En we are getting in a right angle triangle, that is ENB, where we need to find out adjacent side. So that can be calculated, found by using cosine angle, right? So from triangle ENB, cos of R will be adjacent side, that is EN divided by BE. So En can be written as BE cos of R, and the value of BE will be twice of T because thickness of the film is T. So this full will be twice of T. So I will substitute that here. En equals to 2T cos of R. So now I will substitute the value of En in this part difference relation. So delta x now can be written as mu into 2T cos of R. So this can be rearranged as 2 mu T cos of R. Now you can see here all the terms in this part difference are known to us, where mu is what? Refractive index of the film, T is thickness of the film, R is refraction angle. So all the terms are known to us, means we got now part difference. But as this is the case of interference in reflected light, so we need to consider one more phenomena, that is, as this Bx is reflecting from denser medium, so that causes extra path of lambda by 2. So for this ray there is extra path of lambda by 2, which we have not considered in this mathematical derivation. So effective part difference for rays Bx and dy can be written now as delta x equals to 2 mu T cos of R plus minus lambda by 2. Okay, so this is now our part difference. Now the next part is applying condition. So when we are getting constructive interference, when part difference is integral multiple of lambda, and when part difference is odd half multiple of lambda, then that is the case of destructive interference or dark band. So for bright, if this part difference delta x, that is 2 mu t cos of r plus minus lambda by 2, if that equals to integral multiple of lambda, where n takes values from 1 to infinity, then that gives you bright point. Now this is lambda by 2, so if that I will take in the right hand side, and if I try to solve this, then you will get 2 mu t cos of r equals to 2n plus minus 1 lambda by 2. So this we are getting as condition for bright. In the same way, condition of dark, if you try to calculate, then this part difference, that is 2 mu t cos of r plus minus lambda by 2, if this equals to 2n plus minus 1 lambda by 2, then that gives you dark. Again, here also, if you are taking this lambda by 2 in right hand side, and if you are solving this, then you will get 2 mu t cos of r equals to n lambda. Here we are getting n plus 1 lambda, as n is an integer which takes values from 1 to infinity. So in that, if you are adding 1, then it doesn't make any difference. So instead of n plus 1, we can write n here. So you can see clearly that till now you have studied, if part difference is n lambda, then that gives you bright. But here, if part difference is 2n plus minus 1 lambda by 2, you are getting bright. And if part difference is n lambda, you are getting dark here. So that is the difference we are getting in interference due to thin parallel film in reflected light. So constructive and destructive interference is totally depending upon refractive index of the film we are using, thickness of the film we are using, then refraction angle and incident wavelength. So whether we are getting constructive interference or destructive interference, that will be dependent upon 4 quantities. First is refractive index of the film, second is thickness of the film, third is refraction or incidence angle, because incidence and refraction is depending upon each other, and fourth thing is incident wavelength, the source which we are considering to produce interference pattern.